Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Apostate Weekly. I'm your host, James.
And I'm Rion.
And we've got some stories coming at you this morning to hopefully brighten your day, maybe put a little damper on your day. But we're going to try to get these out to you because we got some updates from Norway coming out. We've got some other things going on in other countries that
All around the world.
is good. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this and we'll start talking about them. All right, we are back at you live for another wonderful Wednesday of wacky wonders.
Yes, we are the Dr. Seuss of news crew.
and with us, you'll always have a winner on your side.
All right, next.
Hey,
People were like, "What's that mean?" It's his last name. He's like, "Don't tell him." I'm just jealous. I can't help myself.
I know. Everybody's
Good
jealous
morning,
of
everybody.
this.
We're
Good
always
morning,
jealous of a
Jenny,
winner.
Jenny, Kay.
Welcome, everybody.
Jonathan,
Good to
Sam.
see you. Thanks for
Hope
coming.
everyone's doing well this morning.
Hope your morning has been good, not too intense, and the sun is treating you well.
And I hope you all are free of the itches.
Unlike some of us who have
Unlike some of us.
communicable disease. Look at this, guys. I look like I was running through the fields. I guess I was actually. I was running through the fields. I was running through the fields with pickles, and that's the difference.
Maybe you learned your lesson. Maybe not. I don't know.
Probably not. I'm gonna
Probably
be honest.
not.
No.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into the news because we got actually quite a few stories to cover this week. So I'm going to pick up from our Norway coverage from last week because might as well because it kind of just tie it all in and then we can move on to other things here. So the witnesses have so much audacity. It's ridiculous. You know? I mean,
Just a little bit.
I mean, if you look at this here, you need me to make it bigger for you? I think I need to zoom in a little bit. The witness lawyers here are demanding 4 times as much as the state in court costs, aka lawyers' expenses, for this trial that they just went through. So they're trying to get Norway to pay them for the cost of their legal fees at a rate 4 times of what their own state lawyers charge. What freaking scumbags are you guys to try to do this?
And it's because they will use any tragedy to spin it to make money somehow. Everything is an opportunity if you look at it from their point of view.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, like, here's how I'm kind of looking at this too. So with them trying to get this money from the state of Norway, hey Judge, how you doing, buddy? They're trying. It's like they're trying to recover the money that they've lost in their tax exemption in some way. Because what else could it be? You know, they're trying to make up for the money that they are losing now because of this. But
absolutely,
I think they need to settle in and get used to it. Honestly, you know,
I guess does it depend on the whatever?
That's a good question.
You have with your lawyer, like maybe contract that you have.
If it's a suit case, maybe, you know, like a lawsuit, Like you're suing somebody for something they did to you. But in this case, it's not really what it is, because they're trying to defend their right to disfellowship and shun children and trying to get their tax exempt status back. So I don't think, but I mean, the laws are different in every country and everywhere. So I can't say for sure because I'm not a legal expert by any means. But my gut instinct is to say no, but I could be wrong.
And either way, they're going to find a way to extort money out of the government or these people if possible, wherever they can extract.
Well, if they're, here's what they'll start doing. They won't, if they can't get the money from the government, they're going to try to get it from the witnesses in that country to donate more.
And this is also it's a multifaceted thing, and I think you're also right too, trying to intimidate them and make others think twice before any other government group, what have you, move to try to go after the Jehovah's Witness or another religious group.
They get their expenses covered if the court says so. Okay. Thank you, Judge. So
thanks, Judge.
Hopefully the court says no way in hell.
Yeah, that would be great. Do the lawyers that the Jehovah's Witnesses have, are they witnesses themselves, or are they worldly people?
I think Risdell is a witness. He's one of the
That's what I thought.
Lawyers. But he also worked with a team of other lawyers from Norway. So they hired another private firm out to help have a legal team. So
so this is costing them bank.
Yeah. So that legal team, I don't know how much that cost them. How much of, if any witnesses are watching, how much of your hard-earned money that you donated went to that legal team to defend your right to shun children? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but here's what I would also bet that they would do, because the witness lawyer is going to work for Watchtower for free, but they're still probably going to try to charge the state legal fees for his services as well, even though he won't get paid anything from Watchtower.
And I do wonder, is he getting anything? Does he do this really for free? Yeah. Like, you just give your talent away just like that. And I'm certain they probably would, but I could not imagine, like, how is this guy putting food on his table? There's got to be some kind of reciprocity, or he's going to starve.
Yeah.
Unless he's doing this and then also doing like private cases, and on top of that, still attending meetings and like all the things that.
You never know. But I mean, if he's a Watchtower lawyer too, he has a lot more leniency to get away with not doing as much service or meetings or anything. You know what I mean? As long as he still serves the Watchtower's interests whenever they want him to.
Right. Their worldly interests.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, brother. Wowsies. Interesting. Trying to get more than they deserve. Typical.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know the meaning of stop. They don't know when to stop.
Stop? Does that mean go?
In the name of love.
Before you get a lawsuit. Or go broke. Yeah, that as well. Do you want me to go to my next story?
You may.
Okay. So this one is a little video I thought that we could watch. Let me make that bigger. It's about Kezia. I hope I'm saying that right. Kezia Witten. And she was abused by her brother, and it took years and years for her to get any kind of justice. So I thought we could just watch this quickly. Let me know if there's any issues with the sound.
Okay.
Kezia Witten fears the Jehovah's Witnesses are still hiding child sexual abuse.
You're a survivor every day. Every day you survive.
The 34-year-old from regional Western Australia grew up in the Jehovah's Witnesses faith, which believes Armageddon is imminent. But there was a far greater threat inside her family home. About 3 decades ago, aged just 5, Kezia Witten was sexually abused by her brother, Joel Witten, who was over 18 at the time.
He should have been hurting for me, not hurting me. Nothing like that should ever happen to a child ever.
It left her with deep emotional scars and trauma.
I was pretty committed to killing myself.
Kezia confronted Joel later in life, and he confessed to the Jehovah's Witnesses elders in 2018, following the Royal Commission into Child Sexual Abuse. But the elders chose to conduct their own investigation and not report the matter to police. This was despite the faith group committing to report child sexual abuse during the inquiry. Kezia then decided to report the matter to police herself after having a child of her own, and Joel pleaded guilty and was jailed late last year. The Jehovah's Witnesses didn't respond to all questions, they say, to protect the privacy of those involved, but say they regard child abuse as a crime and abhorrent sin. WA's mandatory reporting laws don't require religious organisations to report historical abuse which occurred before 2022, even if the survivor is still currently a child. It's something survivors like Kezia Witten want changed. But the state government says the laws were not intended to address historical abuse. With her abuser now jailed, Kezia has started making candles to help her find the light in her life.
I think it's knowing that you're a lot more than what hurt you instead of letting it consume you completely.
She says other survivors shouldn't give up hope. Brianna Fiore, ABC News.
They don't have it for historical abuse before 2022. What's going on here?
Oh, sorry, I had my thing muted.
Oh.
I think that this just goes to show that we need mandatory reporting laws like worldwide.
Yeah,
Why
no
is this such
kidding.
I don't understand why this is such a hard thing to get. If you are in a position of power, of trust, if you are a clergy member, an elder, somebody in the church or a religious situation who is doing one-on-ones, whatever, shepherding the flock, if you find out about child abuse, you should have to report it no matter what. And I don't understand why this is such a hard idea to grasp, to protect children.
But see, like,
I don't
here's
get
the
it.
thing that really got me with this story, though. Like, I know in the United States, our laws could be so much better as far as the historical abuse cases going back, or because we have what's called the statute of limitations. But a lot of times they're like 20 years, 25 years, something like that. But this report said they only can go back to 2022. Like, that's only 2 years ago. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculously under
it's going to be underrepresent.
You know?
It's going to underrepresent the full right.
For the land down under, it's underdone.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be like straight shooters, but you know, that's one of those things where people talk a lot of shit, but then is there anything behind it? Because look at us in America.
Well, I mean, we got people like us here. We know that, you know, having statutes of limitations on laws like that is absolutely ridiculous because victims don't get justice. Even with the states that have longer statutes, victims often don't come forward years, sometimes decades later because of the trauma that it's inflicted upon them. And if you can only have a couple years to go back to report something, none of those victims throughout that whole country are going to get any justice for their abusers. Unless you have adamant parents that are on top of it and really love their child and report it right away.
Right.
That's the only way.
And is that always going to be the case for everybody? Likely not. Because again, Jehovah's Witnesses, conscious matter, but you're always guilted or shamed into feeling the conscious matter is to do exactly verbatim what you've been told.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, K-Fred, is it your birthday today?
Oh, is it?
Jen and Fran commented happy birthday to K-Fred.
Well, good morning and happy birthday, K-Fred.
I didn't see if that was in the comments anywhere. So if if it's true, please speak up.
Happy birthday to you.
And if you're lucky, we might sing you a happy birthday song.
Ugh. Or
Yeah.
unfortunate, either way.
Or,
Unlucky.
yeah, something like that. Well,
Depending how
our
you look
song
at
will
it.
curse you for the next year.
Yeah, might be a bad idea. Get out of here. Skedaddle before we get you.
All right. So, mind if I go ahead and move on?
Yeah, go right ahead. I know you had some stories with the clergy penitent privilege law as well.
Yeah. So, we're gonna go over to the Netherlands now for our news and
What are you trying to say,
reclaim
K.
voices.
Fred?
Yes, thanks all. Don't sing.
Sorry.
Well, just for that, no.
Happy birthday.
So, anyways, going back here to the Netherlands, they are going to be doing a follow-up study on religious communities, and it's not just the Jehovah's Witnesses; it's other religious institutions as well. They listed about 5 or 6 different institutions, and they're going to be dealing with how they handle sexual abuse within their institutions. So this is something we're definitely going to keep our eyes on, because this is the kind of news we want to see. We want to see these institutions, not just Jehovah's Witnesses, every institution, be held accountable for when they mistreat and mishandle these abuse cases.
Absolutely.
And it's not that we're necessarily vouching or trying to get them to, go bankrupt and go out of business. No, we just want them to handle things right and to protect the children, protect the communities, and protect the families by having proper policies in place to protect these people.
Yeah. We want some culpability. We want accountability. These things all can be done. Just think of your workplace. How many institution laws, rules that you have to protect the people there. Yeah, things are going to go bad. Something's going to happen. You're going to have an argument. But they have these rules set up to protect people, even the person being accused. So why is it so difficult to do copy paste into the organization?
Yeah.
It's a choice not to. That's why.
Exactly. So, but anyways, like I said, we'll keep our eyes on this and we'll update you as we learn more about it and what's going on with it.
Yeah, that's great. I love to see that there's countries kind of leading the charge. I'm not saying they're perfect or anything like that, and they don't have their problems, but I do love the knowledge that children are being put at the forefront. I like to see that. And I would love to see that in the land of freedom, children being treated with that, treating them like a gift. They're supposed to be a gift from God, and we treat them like they're fucking burdens. Oh, don't itch.
You're making me think of you ever watch The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Remember their little the Simpsons, the cartoon they watched, the Itchy and Scratchy show.
Itchy and Scratchy, the cat and mouse, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that in so long.
And you're both itchy and scratchy all in one today.
I'm exactly. I'm a freaking cartoon character in real life. Poetry in motion, friends.
Yeah, but if you're a cartoon, you're more like Bozo the Clown. Oh boy. So, would you like to move on, and would you like to give
because
your
over
story?
the past couple weeks, I don't remember when, but you were discussing with us the cases happening in Russia where the government's been cracking down on the Jehovah's Witness organization. And just yesterday, they sentenced 4 Jehovah's Witnesses to 7 years, I believe. Yeah, 7 years in prison because they consider them to be an extremist group. And none of us want that. None of, like, extremes is not good in any matter. It's never going to help. And this is an extreme. This is not how you control. This to me is persecution. Now,
Yes.
I do believe that the organization does have culpability, because they simply could say, look, y'all, this is not the time or place. Y'all just do your studies, like, just be JWs, but stay under the radar. You don't have to make noise. The organization could easily say that to protect these people. But just like they did, just like they did with Hitler and Stalin and all that shit, they were making them perform. They wanted them to be outwardly opposing the government, so they would get in trouble, so they would be persecuted, so they can use them as pawns. So this is truly disappointing, and it's disgusting, and I hate to see it. And I would never want to see a Jehovah's Witness go to jail simply for being religious. If you're going to send them to jail, send them to jail because they're protecting pedophiles. Point blank, period. So this is really sad.
In other countries like America, we've had witnesses that have gone to jail for not going to war when they were drafted.
Right.
But do it for things that they're doing that are illegal, not for simply practicing their belief system.
Right. Like, this is bananas. This is not going to help anybody, save anybody. Yeah, it is the group to some extent, a zealotry extremist group. In some ways they are, because they will let their kids die. I mean, that's pretty freaking extreme. But
they'll let their kids die. They'll shun their own kids if they're baptized.
Yeah.
They also have very what's the word I'm looking for? Extreme literature as well.
Right.
With the depictions of Armageddon.
Let the punishment fit the crime.
Right.
Right. This punishment is not fitting the crime. If the crime is just simply being religious. Now, if they wanted to be like the Netherlands or Norway or what have you, and specifically, now maybe they are, and I don't know. Like, this is the thing, inside of these countries, we're living in these bubbles. Like, we're getting fed our information from the news sources that are bought out by the big oligarchy companies, right? Like, it's a monopoly. So we don't hear, so maybe there is research into Russia about, the abuse of children and shunning and the no blood. And I don't know. Maybe that's my stupidity.
I remember when this all started happening, they were classified as an extremist religion.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, that's why Russia started going after the witnesses. Now, that being said, I know Russia wants to have their state religion for the country. And that being said, even if you are part of another religion, maybe because of the witnesses and their extremist views and practices, they looked into that, and that's why they're going after it. Maybe, and I think, didn't they enact laws where they told them to stop meeting at their buildings and stuff? Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I thought they were told to stop.
I think so.
Doing the meetings, stop preaching, and just like you said, the head honcho say, no, you keep on doing it. You're our pawns. Go out and play this game of checkers when we're
Jehovah's going to be mad at you.
Yeah, I know.
Is he really? Did Jehovah get mad at Jesus and the apostles for not going door to door every day? Are you sure about that?
I know, right? And like, if let's say you're a family man and you get put in prison. How are you going to support your family now that you're in prison, or take care of them or be there? Like,
exactly, James. And they don't care.
No,
they want that. And guess what? The shitty thing is, they probably have nothing set up for when that happens. And that person now has to just rely on the state, has to possibly rely on the help of the congregation. Will they help? How much can they help? It's a really shit position to put somebody in.
Yeah. you're burdening society because of it. And I mean,
Yes.
just like you said, the state, the congregations, everybody. So
Mhm.
it's bad all the way around. Find a
It
better
is.
way to hold them accountable for their extremist views. Please
How
don't
about
persecute them
education?
by throwing them in prison. Yeah, exactly.
I
Here,
mean, I'm
we're gonna.
not trying to be funny, but, like, seriously, if there's only I think there's, like, 175,000 or something like that Jehovah's Witnesses in Russia. How hard would it be to fricking educate those people? It wouldn't. You're rich, you can do it. You're choosing not to.
And not that I'm advocating for this, okay? This is not an advocacy for this idea, but there are cases, and like, if you have you ever read Stephen Hassan's book, Combating Cult Mind Control?
No, but I need to.
Okay. Well, part of his deconversion, well, not part of it, his complete deconversion was a forced deconversion from the cult he was in. Okay.
Mm.
Now, he doesn't advocate for that, and neither do I, because he feels that there are better methods, and I agree with that. But even still, if you did like forced deconversions or forced education, on these things, that would still be better than throwing these people in prison.
100%. Or at least if you're putting them in prison, at least have some kind of program where at least in that system, in the prison system, they're getting some kind of help.
Right.
But prison is not prison is just not a solution. I'm not saying we don't need prisons. Obviously, we do.
Well, yeah,
But
but it's not
it's
the
a
solution to
money-making
this.
system. Business How can businesses own a prison, which just incentivizes, cops and people to accuse people, to make judges put longer sentences. Like, it's
Well,
just a money-making scheme.
I don't know about Russia, but it's definitely that way in America.
Right, yeah, like, I can't say that I know about other countries. I'm sure somebody's profiting. I'm sure there's a monopoly there. But we know here, we could and there are programs. I'm not saying there aren't social programs to help, what is that? To facilitate them back into society. I know there's, like, a word for that. But it could be the things that we could do if we really wanted to as a society. Instead, we just spend our time fighting each other because that's what the government programs us to do. Sorry. Anyway,
Yep.
conspiracy theory out.
Anyways, I'm going to move on to my next story because I got a
Move along.
few more here to get through, and I'd like to try to knock them out here. So,
Okay.
update: we had discussed last year. I don't know what show exactly. We talked about Washington State and how they were trying to pass a bill for the mandatory reporting for the clergy, and that did pass. It's Washington. It's SB 6298 is the bill in Washington State, and it passed unanimously for mandatory reporting in Washington State. So go Washington State.
It's about damn time.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, it had some trouble though, because I remember
It took a long time.
It took a while because there was some pushback, especially from the Catholic churches in Washington, because
Oh my goodness.
they didn't want to have this to happen.
Some of the testimony, I was literally yelling at these preachers who were standing up there and just protecting the church and just saying how important it was for the, the trust and the faith in the church. And we don't want to undermine it. Like, the way that you treat children kind of undermines my trust in you. Just saying.
Yeah. All right. And moving on to my next little clip here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is out of British Columbia, Canada, and there was a court battle for ex-members getting their records from the witness organization. And we know they've been having troubles with that in Canada, getting your records from the witnesses, because they don't want to give you your records as much as you have the rights to them, which is ridiculous. Because
Mhm.
the witnesses love to fight you for your rights to not have anything and want to have the right to do everything they want.
Mhm.
But the witness organization did lose, so the ex-members will be able to get their records. So that's a nice little win again. So it's nice seeing these little wins here this morning between the records, the Washington bill, the
Yeah.
reclaimed voices, and that was it.
Well, no, I mean, but those are big things, right? Because they all
Yeah.
start the ball rolling, and they'll help the next group and the next person and the next state continue on
The next
holding
state
accountability.
or the next country. Like if you
Exactly.
go to, Norway's part of the ECH, the European Union, right? So
Yeah, EU.
they have the European Court of Human Rights that rules over them for that. So hopefully that can, once this case is done, and hopefully the former members win their case against it, it starts rolling into other countries.
Exactly. Like what happened in Spain too, with the Jehovah's Witnesses suing a small group
Yeah.
of people, but now it not looking like it's not going to work out so good for the Jehovah's Witnesses organization for doing that. They probably should have just stopped there. So all these little cases are, as you said, small wins, and small wins will lead to big wins. We just have to keep pushing.
That's right. And for my final story this morning, this is actually something that's local to where I live. And this is it's only probably about an hour away from where I live. It's in York County, Virginia here. This is from the Freedom from Religions Foundation's website. And I'll go ahead and share that with y'all here. The school board was trying to open their meetings with prayer. Now, for those of us in America here, we have what's called the separation of church and state. And with that, you're not supposed to be praying while in school board meetings, while in government. You're supposed to keep those things separate. You can do them on your own time. You can even pray to yourself at these places. You're just not supposed to be doing it publicly in front of a group of people. And what happens when you do that is you offset the balance of power, and you make people in the room feel obligated to listen to your prayer from your religion. And it's really just a predatory way of pushing your religion on others that may not want it, especially the non-religious, or non-religious, and also people who have different religious faiths than you as well. And especially when it has to do with a school board meeting of any kind, because you might have children in the room that are being influenced by this as well. And if you look here at the article, it talks about a settlement that happened in Chino Valley, and they had to pay more than $275,000 in plaintiffs' attorney fees and costs to the Freedom from Religion Foundation because they tried to push prayer in their school board. So the article is using this as an example to say, hey, this has happened before. The Supreme Court has, over history, constantly pushed down these cases and say, no, you cannot be doing this. And yet they keep on trying to do it, and they keep on trying to do it. And it's just like, it's like a game of whack-a-mole. You knock one down, and another one pops up.
Yeah.
And, we just got to keep knocking them down. Because,
yes. Keep going.
This kind of indoctrination you're trying to send off to these kids is not right. It's just the wrong place at wrong time to be doing it. You want to pray? Fine. Go pray. Do it on your own time, not on business for the school, and especially in front of an audience like that.
Yeah, it makes people uncomfortable, and it's just unnecessary. Like, does God need to be involved in all this stuff? Truly, it's just not the place. That's my opinion.
No.
Anyhow, and I know religious people will differ, but just because you're religious doesn't mean the rest of us have to be.
Well, that's what I say. If you want to pray to yourself before the meeting or whatever, or after it,
Yeah.
go right ahead.
Have at
You're
it.
free to do that. Just don't do it on the microphone in front of the whole audience, because now you have a captive audience, and that is a predatory tactic of pushing your religion on others. That's all I'm saying.
There's a power imbalance, and we have to admit that and address it.
And we've even addressed that on this show before, because we even realize that there's a power imbalance with us being on a YouTube show, speaking our opinions out to the worldwide webs here. And I mean, yes, we have comments and people talk and everything, but still there can be a major power imbalance just for YouTube influencers, let alone people at a school board or in political offices or any kind of other positions of power.
Yeah. I mean, it's all things to take into consideration when you're talking about anything, really.
Yeah.
You have to just be careful and be aware. That's all. Cognizant.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Go have a special place that you go or something. That's absolutely fine. You want to go pray somewhere? I don't mind. I'll yeah, sure, go take 5. That's fine.
Well,
I remember
when I was a witness, if I wanted to pray in a public place like that, I would just basically not necessarily close my eyes, especially if I was walking somewhere, but I would just say something to myself, and pray like that and move on. Didn't have to say it to the whole world, That was me practicing my religion then.
I struggled with prayers. I it's just my mind, maybe ADHD, but I would always start my prayer, and then within 30 seconds I'd be somewhere else, and then I'd feel guilty, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Jehovah. And then I would try to get back into it, and then my brain would go it would be the never ending.
I've done that too many times. I've done that many
shit,
times.
I was praying.
Oh shit, I said shit.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. What's happening? Or this is my own personal hell.
And your mind just wanders into some other universe or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, dude, do you know how many times my brain goes elsewhere just sitting here, and I have to reel it back in? It's really difficult. Itchy.
If I only had a brain.
If only it worked. If I could make my brain work, that would be great. I just have one last thing. If that's I'm gonna just get a little spritz here, cool it down.
She's just trying to glow for the camera, everybody.
I want to glow. Look at that lovely pink glow from my rash. Yeah, that's a blow down. Okay, quickly. If any of you are following what's happening in Palestine or Gaza, I don't know if you heard about my friend Mansour. I was lucky enough to do an interview with him in December, right before Christmas. He is a journalist. He's a father of 5. He does hold a Canadian visa or citizenship, and he was able to get his family out, but he stayed behind to, keep everybody apprised of what was happening in Gaza. And sadly, he has been missing now for, I think it's been 9 days. And they do believe that he has been taken by the IOF, the Israeli soldiers. And so that's just not good news whatsoever. So if you'd like to help, there is a petition. We're trying to get government attention, since he is a citizen, getting the attention of Justin Trudeau, Melanie Jolie, who is the foreign affairs minister. Actually, here, I'll just put this in the chat if y'all wouldn't mind signing it. No, I'm not forcing anybody to do anything they're not comfortable with, but I just feel like Mansour is a light, And just meeting him that one time, I could tell that he's a good man and doesn't deserve to be tortured by the hands of the soldiers in the Israeli government. Anyhow, so yes, please, if you can sign that, share that, tweet, whatever you can do to raise noise, that would be great. Also, Lama Jamis, they're trying to get her out. She's a 9-year-old journalist as well. When the bombardment started, she got in front of a camera, picked up a mic, and started reporting. But the South is being heavily attacked right now, which is where Mansour and Lama both were. And they're afraid that she's also going to either get taken because she's a journalist. They're after the journalists who are telling the stories, or she will just sadly get killed. So those are things, action items that y'all can do. And yeah, war sucks.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
But with that being said, I think that's it for the show this week. Unless you had anything else you wanted to add?
No, I don't think I have anything else. As per usual, if you ever have any news stories, etc., that y'all want us to cover, if you have something in particular newsworthy that you want to come on the show and discuss, hit us up, let us know. We're always open to that. We're trying to grow as a team and as a community. So yeah, that's all I have.
All right. As our friend Sam reminds us every week in the chat, thank you, Sam. Everybody, please hit the like button and subscribe if you can. We greatly appreciate it to help get these out to the old YouTube algorithms. And, oh, yes, I'll do that too, Sam. I will do that. I'll grab that Discord link. I will grab that right now and throw it in there. Where is it?
Thank
there
you
it is.
so much. You guys are awesome.
I love having you, Sam, because you remind me of the business I need to take care of. So I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. All right. There's that Discord link to join the Apostate Coalition. So the Force will definitely be with you if you join the dark side.
Yeah, join the dark side. It's the only place to be.
And I say that, too, because we do have a Sith Lord in there, Darth Magog.
Right.
So, it's fitting. It is fitting. So,
it's apropos.
You can't get any better than that.
You can't get darker than that. Gosh.
Well, I don't know. I could try.
Okay, yeah, we're former Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm sure we could.
No, yeah. Definitely.
On that note,
thank you for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate you. We love you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hit the subscribe button if you're able to. Also, if you feel like it and you are willing to help the show out a little bit, please check the links out for the Buy Me a Coffee. We greatly appreciate everybody who has done that so far. And with that being said, we will see you all next week.
We will. Don't forget, apostate your way.
That's right. And have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Bye.